Hello, my fireflies. We got a special treat for you today here at the Firefly Funhouse. He's here. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, is here. Ultimate Edition, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. But now, it's time for him to be out of the box. So, J-Man, the reviewer guy, let him in by letting him out. Will do, Firefly Funhouse Bray. But first, we gotta take a closer look at the Fiend Bray Wyatt Ultimate Edition in the packaging. Ultimate Edition logo, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and there is the Fiend Bray Wyatt in the packaging. Even includes that custom Universal Championship, WWE Ultimate Edition logo, silver foil, Mattel logo, ultimate articulation for authentic posability, the Fiend Bray Wyatt with a very sinister picture here of him. That's Nightmare Fuel. WWE logo, Ultimate Edition logo, the Fiend Bray Wyatt, Ultimate Edition logo again, stuff on the bottom. And on the back, we see a product shot of the figure, the Fiend Bray Wyatt, Ultimate Edition logo again. And here's the Fiend Bray Wyatt in the match. I think that was with Finn Balor. I could be wrong, but he's just having such a lovely time. His height, he's from parts unknown, has the mandible claw, and was Universal Champion. Although technically he was also the WWE Champion, but I guess that doesn't count for some reason. Here's a brief read-up. Inside the Firefly Funhouse, Bray Wyatt has an underlying air of sinister intent. There is nothing underlying about his horrific alter ego, the Fiend, birthed from the unsettling dark corners of Bray Wyatt's mind. The ghoulish Fiend awaits anyone who's ready to play. All you have to do is
let him in. But now, without any further delay, let's get the Fiend Bray Wyatt Ultimate Edition out of the packaging and let him in
by letting him out. And here is the Ultimate Edition Fiend Bray Wyatt figure out of the Ultimate Edition packaging. But before I dive further into this figure and its accessories, I want to take a closer look at my favorite part of these Ultimate Edition unboxings is the box itself, the little Easter eggs that are hidden in the packaging, like this on top. It says, Yowie Wowie, and it tells you more about the Ultimate Edition here, in general, the line. And here it says,
let me in.
But now, let's take a closer look at those accessories, then the Ultimate Edition figure, plus some comparisons. He comes with two interchangeable heads. The one he has on, it's the same as the regular Elite's head, just the hair is in a different position. But I will show that off more when I do that comparison. And he also comes with this face with the tongue out. Now, head on, this looks cool. But there's some paint mishaps with this head. On this side, black paint, some missing. And on this side, quite a bit missing. His chin, there's some white paint missing from the mask. But other than that, the tongue looks right. The hair has some nice color. Those are some nasty looking Fiend dreadlocks. Like the Ronda Rousey Ultimate Edition, he comes with the pieces to make his entrance jacket. We have the vest part. Very nice sculpted detail here. It's got these silver studs on the front, the tails in the back, and these buckles are painted, although the paint is very sloppy. The sleeves have those silver studs on them, and since the hands are here, he comes with 2 hands to hold things, like the belt, and he has the 2 open hurt heel hands. And speaking of a championship title, for the first time ever, he comes with the Universal Championship Fiend Edition. Now, I thought as a championship on television, it looked like, but as a toy, especially as a accessory for a toy, this rules. And the reason why I hate it on television is because when wrestlers like John Cena, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, etc., when they would make their own version of a world title, you'll say WWE World Champion, but it'll have the wrestler's personality in it. Like Cena's spinner belt. Love it or hate it, it still looked like a championship belt. It said WWE Champ, and it spun. Austin's belt had the smoke and skull, and it still said WWE or WWF World Champion to that extent. This one does not. It just looks like some sort of evil artifact that Ash would have in the Living Dead franchise. But that still doesn't take away from how good this looks as an accessory for a figure. You can see the straps right here. Stitching says "Let" in red. And on the other side, see the silver paint for the buckles. Now, this belt does not buckle the way you think. Instead, they still have the holes in here, so you can still fasten it like the regular release belts. And you can see the bolts. It says hurt heel. And you have the Fiend's mask as the center of this belt. Now, I did my own mock-up of what I think this belt should have looked like to resemble a championship. At least it would still be the Fiend's belt, but you could still recognize it as the World Championship / Universal Championship. I don't know. What do you guys think? And nothing on the back. But now, the moment you've all been waiting for, let's take a closer look at the Ultimate Edition, The Fiend Bray Wyatt figure. Here is his face, and like I said, it's the exact same one as the regular Elite, just the hair is different, mostly in color and position. We go down to his tank top, and this one has the praying hands. The original release does not. His tattoos are nice, bright, and colorful. Here's his tattoos on his chest, on his arms, the hurt heel gloves. Here is the back of him, real quick. The pants are basically the same, except in color compared to this. This is a brighter red. This is a darker red. The belts are the same. The rest of the pants are the same, except when we get down to his boots, he has this really, I don't know how to put this. I'm going to say nasty looking, almost like the Undertaker's old boot design, almost. It's got these straps on. It's really good, especially when you compare it to the regular release. Those look like regular wrestling boots. These, in my opinion, are much better. And he's got that red blood-like thing going on the top of his boots. And once again, the back. And now let's do a side-by-side comparison. The tattoos on his chest are much lighter than the ones here. Not sure which one's more accurate, but they're both very colorful. On the back, they are the same, except for the neck. Tattoos are the same here. Same here. Gloves are the same. Boots. The red design on this one is brighter. This one's darker. Now a quick comparison between the new Fiend Ultimate Edition and basic Firefly Funhouse Bray, they do seem to scale pretty well together. Now, let's start accessorizing the Fiend. Let's first give him his entrance jacket.
3 hours later.
And here's the Fiend with the entrance jacket on. And like the Ronda Rousey figure, I still had a very hard time getting those arms into those sockets with that part of the jacket on. But I still got him in. He looks good. But now for another comparison, here's the Fiend in his entrance jacket up close compared to the previous Elite and a custom one. This one is a softer material, some sort of vinyl fabric. This one is rubber. But this one has a distinct advantage because of the double jointed elbows. You can do this. And now you can have him do the,
Do I hurt or do I heal? Do I hurt or do I heal?
it's almost like Joker in The Killing Joke. And the big question that everybody has in their minds, can the belt be wrapped around the Fiend's face like on television? And the answer is yes. Just make sure that it's on the end, the last 4 pegs right here. You don't want it to be any tighter than that because look, see, it's not going anywhere. You don't want it to be too tight around his head. You want it loose enough to get off and on. Lastly, I want to do a head swap and do one more accessory add-on. And finally, here is the Fiend Ultimate Edition with the alternate head holding the Elite's entrance lantern. And here is the Fiend Ultimate Edition in its final pose that I'm going to have him in with both hands on his face. And since I can't get him to hold or wear the belt in any way, I have Firefly Funhouse Bray proudly presenting that championship. And this will be the thumbnail for this review. But that is it for my review and comparison of the Ultimate Edition, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt figure. Tell me, what do you guys think? And if you were to pose this figure, how would you pose him? Let me know down in the comments below. But until the next review I will see you soon. And in the words of Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt, I'll leave the line on. All you have to do is, let me in. Let me in.
Let me in. Bye, fireflies.